Today, we're going to talk about how to get Upwork gigs into Airtable. Now, you might be wondering what we would use this for. You can do lead generation to if you're a consultant and you need to, if you're a new consultant and you need to get a gig, you can do this if you are applying for Upwork jobs and you want to do custom proposals. So we're just going to look at how to send data to Airtable from Upwork using Pixiebrix. To start out, you want to create a base in Airtable, which will allow you to receive the data from Upwork. Here I have a base that I've already created, but if you're new to Airtable, you would just create a base, an untitled base, and add your fields into it. I'll leave links in the description on how to create an Airtable base in Airtable and just the basics of it. Back to our Upwork gigs. So as you can see here, we've created one table entitled jobs. From there, we've created the fields, job title, which is a single line text, and then description, which is a long text, which if you open this up, you'll see from an example that I pulled that we grab all of the text from the description. And you'll want to make sure that you add the description field as a long text so it doesn't cut off. It doesn't have a character limit. Then we have a status, apply to, and this is a single select field, which we have applied to, applied, interviewed, and rejected. From there, we set our fields, and you can set your field to each one. The rest of the fields are single line text because we're basically grabbing text from Upwork and sending it to Airtable. Now we'll discuss how to set this up in Pixiebrix. So the first thing that you'll need to do in Pixiebrix is to set up the integration with Airtable. I have several integrations set up with Airtable, but basically what you do is you configure Airtable. You will add a label for when I configured this previously, I used the jobs board and I just named it jobs table. You can name it whatever the title of your table in your Airtable base is going to be. Then you'll want to grab your API key and the base ID. Now, if you need to find those, you'll need to go down to API documentation to get the base ID, and it'll be under authentication when you click it. You will also, if you click the box show API key, it will also give you the API key that you need in a complete URL. As you can see here, I've set up the integration for the jobs table. So once you set your integration, then you'll need to log into Upwork if you have an Upwork profile. This is your main job dashboard, right? It's where you find work. And you will have jobs you might like, which are US only because I'm based in the US. That's why this field is here, best matches. And so what I intend to use this for and what you may want to use this for is to save jobs and send that to Airtable so that you can create custom proposals. So how to get to Pixiebrix once you've installed it is you go to inspect and it shows up here in the developers tab. Now you'll see I've already created this, but I'm going to walk through how to do this. The first step is to create how you want to access the Pixiebrix automation, right? And you have these options. You can do it via button, context menu, quick bar, sidebar panel, or trigger. In this instance, we're going to use a button. So when we go to add a button, we would just click button here, and then you'll see in the outline of the purple that we have to click on an existing button to get the button group, right? In this instance, we're going to use the Save Job button. And as you can see in my Send to Airtable, it's right under here. So we just duplicate this button, okay? And then when you want to add a caption, basically a caption just tells you what the action is that you want to take. In this instance, we want to do send to Airtable. So we'll just duplicate this. And we also want to select an icon, which in this instance, if you search for Airtable, it'll pop up. And there we go. So that's an easy step. At this point, you would want to save. If you want to do this for multiple websites, then you'll need to add it here. Your next step is going to be jQuery Selector Reader. And so how you add that brick is you hit the plus button, you type in jQuery Selector Reader, and then you add it. And from there, the jQuery Selector Reader, it grabs the data from jQuery fields. For instance, for this property, if I want it to be job title, or we'll just say, we'll do title. And then when you hit the green arrow, you'll get, again, the purple. It will allow you to select any field, any property on the website. So in this case, our title is going to be, of course, supply chain and logistics product, right? You want to add the description, and we're just basically grabbing the same information that we want to send to Airtable. So it's helpful to match your property titles here to the property titles in Airtable, and you'll see why in a minute. So we'll do description, and you select it again, and you want to grab this section, and so on and so forth, for all of the tabs that you want to buy. Now here's a quick caveat. So when you are using jQuery Selector Reader, the caveat is that it does not support multiple selector. So if a page has 3 different div tags and you try to select a div, it'll return an error. So you will just use an advanced selector instead of the main div. And this is the case for selectors like div or section or heading titles. You will just continue to grab certain fields as necessary. Now we've got in project type as well, which is down here. So we'll add project type here, and then we'll select this span, and number of proposals is the last one, is the last property that we'll grab. And that is here, so we'll select it here. So we've grabbed all of these, right? And if you go to preview, you can see the output of the data that you'll be able to send to Upwork. And so if this is all the data that you want, if you want to get more data, then you can just continue to create properties and do jQuery selectors for those properties, right? But I think what we have here is sufficient. Make sure you save right now. And then our last brick is going to be send data to Airtable. And from there, you just search. Um, like we've done previously. Okay, so here you want to set this. If it shows up as a variable, you just want to change this to key value properties so that you can map the properties from Upwork into Airtable. And that's basically, you take the same property you have and you want to make sure this is case specific. So make sure you add the case the same way it is in Airtable. You'll copy the property path and put it in Airtable. And you'll do that for the rest of the fields, right? Then you want to, again, this is case specific, so you'll want to map the table name. In this case, we just put jobs, right? And then from your configuration that you configured earlier, if you're logged in, you'll see the Airtable API that you want to use. And you just select it, right? And once you've mapped everything, you hit save. When you're ready to test it, you just hit send to Airtable, and then you'll get a notification of successfully ran action. And then just to be 100% sure that it's there you go.